angel babies, it's BB. We're going to do an at present because I have lots of stuff to share. I think I've collected everything that's on my mind as far as what I want to broadcast to the interwebs, and I'm here. I'm ready. I think. I don't know. I don't know why I'm so intrepid. I don't know if that's the word. Okay, so my first topic that I want to go over is a podcast that's making me really happy right now, and it is 60 Songs That Explain the 90s, and I just recently, over the past couple months, discovered it. The first one I listened to was Zombie by the Cranberries, but it is so much more than just talking about that song. The host of this podcast is one of the best hosts I've ever heard, which is saying a lot because I am very picky about podcasts. A lot of them, even if they're a topic that I am interested in, do not hold my attention, or like even more so, they will agitate me based off of maybe the personalities of the hosts, the voices of the hosts, the knowledge base of the hosts. Like, I just am really picky about what I want to listen to and whose voice I want to hear. And even more so, did I just say that? Am I repeating myself? Let's say more specifically, this podcast host is a man, and that isn't controversial in any way, but I've noticed that I have not preferred listening to guys talk on Spotify. I don't know. I mean, that's where I listen to my podcasts. But I love him. He writes a script, and he is a beautiful writer who writes so personally and connects to his own history of music and how he's experienced it in his life and his opinions on things. And it is so beautiful and refreshing. It kind of reminds me of the type of writing that maybe High Fidelity is. I don't remember the author's name of High Fidelity. I know I should know it, but I'll put it on the screen. And yeah, I don't know. It talks about each song that every episode is about, obviously, but it also talks about the culture at the time, the other bands that maybe influenced this band and this song, and like the history. It's a little bit about, like, it's a little bit of behind the music, a little bit of High Fidelity. It's beautiful, and it makes me really happy, and it's one of the few podcasts that I can just get lost in and makes me feel really good. Speaking of Spotify, every month I make a playlist, and that might be a little bit of an exaggeration. Every month, if I really dig a song and I want to remember it, and I want to remember that I was listening to it that month or whatever, I put it into a playlist, and I just title every playlist by the first song name that goes on the playlist, and then I tack on the month and the year at the end of it. So sometimes they come out long, sometimes they come out short, sometimes they're really cohesive playlists, sometimes they're not at all, sometimes they're a little bit choppy. But I don't know, I thought that I might mention it here, and I'll share the link, and you can let me know if you like the songs. Sometimes they're really popular songs, sometimes not. And yeah, it's just a fun thing to do every month. And then I get to go back, and if I'm looking for a different vibe or wanting to listen to something that I was listening a year ago, that's what I do. I also started making holiday playlists about maybe 2-3 years ago. So this year I have a holiday playlist. It's mostly unconventional, but like still kind of classic. I grew up listening to a very special Christmas. Is that what it is? It was those CDs that were for charity, and it was a bunch of like rock stars and pop stars covering Christmas songs or writing their own Christmas songs, and it was like compilation discs, and so it was like a very special Christmas, and then a very special Christmas 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know how many there are, but last year's, or maybe the years before, yeah, maybe 2 years ago, a lot of the very special Christmas songs were on there. This year, it's that vibe, but it's not those songs necessarily. So I'll link that one below too. Okay, so I've also been watching shows because I'm holed up in my bedroom for half my life. I watched A Boy Named Christmas with my parents, and there were parts of it that I didn't love, but overall it was a very sweet movie. It gets kind of dark and sad, in the way that, like, I can compare it to Matilda. It's kind of that dark and sad. So it's like child goes through abuse at hands of adults and then comes out on top type of thing. I don't know. It's not my favorite thing. I don't like watching things where, like, adults treat kids poorly, but that's not the bulk of the movie, and it's kind of like a Christmas origin story a little bit, or like I won't tell you more, but it's really cute, and it's not new. It came out last year. I just never got the chance to watch it last year, so I watched it this year. Another movie that I watched was Falling for Christmas. Now, I am not a Hallmark movie fan, Hallmark Christmas movie fan, or really Hallmark movie in general, but I am a Lindsay Lohan fan. So Falling for Christmas is a Hallmark-esque Lindsay Lohan Christmas movie with also Cord Overstreet from Glee, who, I mean, I want to like, but I don't really love. This movie was cheesy, and, like, obviously there are always, like, holes in the script, and, like, it's not the best script, etc. But it was entertaining. Lindsay Lohan makes the best out of, like, everything that she does. She's a great actor, and she made the script bearable. Like, her delivery of lines feels so natural that, like, you forget how poorly written it is, you know? So that was fun. I also watched Something from Tiffany's with Zoe Deutsch. I think that's how you say her last name. She's, like, the cutest thing in the whole world. I love her. This was a good one. This was somewhat cheesy, but not as cheesy as a Hallmark movie. It's a romantic Christmas-themed movie, and it had me guessing. I didn't always know what was going to happen next, so it wasn't super predictable, which was really nice. And what's funny is it's a movie based in New York, but half of it's filmed in New York and half of it is filmed in LA. And I was living in downtown LA when it was being filmed, and I didn't know what movie they were filming, but, like, I lived on one side of the street and there was an empty cafe or restaurant or coffee shop on the other side of the street, and they had, you know, dressed it to be a restaurant, and they did Christmas lights everywhere, and then we saw a bunch of extras with, like, gloves and hats and coats on, and it was, like, the middle of summer, and it was 80 degrees, and we were very confused, and then realized very quickly that they were filming a movie, and there were, like, New York taxis parked on the street, and it was really funny. And then, so anyway, I had no context. I didn't know who was in the movie. I didn't know what movie it was. And then I watched Something from Tiffany's this week, and I recognized so many scenes. And I saw my apartment building, my old apartment building, in the background so many times, because directly across the street from this place. And even when they're, like, walking around, quote unquote, New York, I recognized the area. I walked those streets every day, and I knew what streets they were on. I knew what buildings those were. Like, it was really fun. That was exciting. And it was a really sweet movie. Okay, so I didn't mention where these were. I think you can watch all of these that I'm talking about on Netflix, except for Something from Tiffany's, which is on Amazon Prime. Oh, I lied. The next one you can watch on HBO Max. So, White Lotus. I didn't have an interest in White Lotus whatsoever. And then everyone I knew said you have to watch it. So, I watched season 1. And I don't know what I was expecting, but like, it was difficult for me to watch. These are like hard topics. I didn't know what to expect. It was like a slow burn. I don't know, you know when you're watching a movie, but it's not because you were genuinely interested in it. It was like someone else told you to watch it, so you just like, okay, well, I give up, I'll watch it. That's kind of how I felt, and I think the last episode really redeemed the show for me. Not that I thought it was a bad show. It was painful. It was painful to watch. It's like really heavy. The characters are, and this is all intentional, like they're not likable, but you feel for some of them. Like, I don't know, it's something I should like, but maybe I wasn't in the right headspace. But after the last episode, I did appreciate it, and then I was excited to watch season 2, and I really, really enjoyed season 2. I thought it was really, really great. So I would definitely recommend it. I also finished Harry and Meghan. Now, if you're not interested or a fan of Prince Harry, or I guess he's not a prince anymore, I really don't know the status, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. I don't know if this is relevant for you, but I can say that it is really revealing and astounding, and I think that it's so apparent how unfairly they were treated, and I was already, I guess, sympathetic to Harry and Meghan, but not completely. I mean, there were definitely articles and headlines that I had seen where that were obviously antagonistic to Meghan. And it's not like I believed them, but I didn't not believe them at the same time. Because that's just, misogyny is just so written into our society and our culture. And sometimes and I say we as, feminine presenting people and women, we believe it sometimes. And I think that the fact that she's such a composed woman and that she really is kind of put together in the way she presents herself, I think people translate into cold bitch. You know what I mean? And that's not the case. And I don't know. I think that the show and its commentary about the institution of the monarchy, and not even just its commentary, but like just straight up facts. Yeah, I found it very interesting. But I'm someone who watches The Crown and have been like an Anglophile. It's just really sad, but I'm happy for them now. I don't know, I'm rambling. Yeah, those were the shows that I watched this month. I don't know when the last time I did an app present, but it's probably not everything, but those are the things that come to mind. A few YouTube channels / videos I'd like to mention. I'm really enjoying the Coffee House Decks tag by Amidst the Gray, and I just found their channel. Love it. I want to do a VR to it. Chrissy's tarot tag, Tarot Genealogy, also super rad. Want to do a VR to that too. I'm thinking about maybe going to my mom's and getting the rest of my decks, or maybe like switching out. I don't know if I have the room for these boxes, but I really want to go get them because I just feel like I can't fully do these VRs. And I also feel like I've shown a lot of the decks that I have with me, and I don't want to just do videos with the same decks over and over again. It's boring. I mean, we all have our favorites, but there's like a mix that you can do. What else? Oh yeah. Okay, so also another channel that's new to me, 22 Zines. Great channel. a video I'm really enjoying, Goth and Punk Decks by 22 Zines. I will link all those videos somewhere. I'll like in the cards or down below or both. But super fun stuff going on YouTube. I have a huge YouTube watch later list because I watch more than TarotTube. I watch all sorts of things. I love interior design. Maybe I'll do a video on like my favorite non-TarotTuber channels. But I love fashion. I don't know if you guys know that. But yeah, I have this huge watch later list. It's over 3,000 videos long. And sometimes they're like instructional videos, sometimes they're entertaining videos, sometimes they're reviews on movies and things like that. But I haven't been very good at watching it because I would just really be spending my whole day watching videos. And I can't do that. So I'm behind on a lot of tarot videos that I want to watch. And I apologize if you know that I'm a regular viewer and I haven't commented or liked your video. That's why. It's there. I've been doing this thing lately where I've just been watching my watch later list on random so I can kind of get in older videos and newer videos. And that's like, I really enjoy doing that too. Okay, so in my last At Present, I shared a few books that I told you that I was going to be reading while I was here. And I have a couple updates. So the first one is The War of Art. This is a book that was given to me by my cousin years ago, and I'm finally reading it. I'm like 2/3 in. And I don't know, man. I don't recommend this book. I think it's outdated. I think that it's kind of offensive at this point. I think it has really good points, but I think that you can get that in a different book without all the crappy stuff that this says. Yeah, I don't know. I don't love it, but I'm gonna finish it. But then I honestly wouldn't like tell someone to read it. If you know of like a good book about creative blocks or about like doing the work, please comment below, because like that is not the one. The other book that I have been reading is this Astrology for Happiness and Success. And I was not sure that I was gonna like this one, and I really do. I'm not very far into it. I'm on Taurus, but I have highlighted stuff, and I really enjoyed it. I think this is a great book, and if you're looking for ways to kind of, I don't know, do small things to level yourself up in life, or to be a little bit happier, or to gain a little bit more self-awareness about yourself or somebody else, I think that this is a really great book. There's a lot of value in this book. But just a reminder, like if you're new to astrology, it's really only talking about sun signs, and you are a very complex being and you're not just your sun sign. So please like remember, if something doesn't resonate with you or doesn't feel like it's you, move on. Like don't claim it. You don't have to claim it, you know? But it might be the case too, and you'll know when this is, but you might read something that you never thought was you, and then it kind of never leaves. Like you keep thinking about it for days afterward, like, oh, I really do that. Like, or you might read something and you'll be immediately like, oh my gosh, I never thought of myself that way, and it's so true. That's the fun thing about reading about astrology. So those are the books that I've been reading mainly. And lastly, I have so many decks to show you. So let's go. I got the Pulp Tarot because I had to get the Pulp Tarot. This wasn't really easy to get. And like I saw this in someone's mass market video, and I was like, Is it mass market still, or is this like an out of print mass market? I don't know, but I was gonna maybe do a walkthrough of this deck, but I think there are a lot already online, so. This deck is obviously influenced by kind of mid-century book covers. That looks older than mid-century, but it's pretty centered around like 50s and 60s. This looks maybe 30s, 40s. So really maybe like the first, I was gonna say 60 years of the 20th century, but it might just be like 20s to 60s. Anyway, it's really well done. It's by a graphic designer, and it's really cool and fun, and I love it, and I have not really used it. I've done one reading for myself, and that's it. And I definitely see it as being something that I can use a lot. I'm not going to do a full walkthrough because there are a ton on YouTube, like I mentioned. If you want me to do one, let me know, and then I will. Okay, so I also watched Meg's video about top 10 mass market decks, right? And like, of course I did, because why wouldn't I do that? And she had both of these decks, and both of these decks have been on my list. They've been on and off of my list. I wasn't quite sure, especially with the Golden Art Nouveau. I thought I would definitely like the Botticelli, but I wasn't sure about the Golden Art Nouveau. And her videos always, I don't know, girl, if it's like the lighting you have or what, or the way that you're talking about it, or just the fact that it's on camera, but your videos always make me want, like they push me over the edge, right? If I'm on the fence, they throw me off of it. So of course, after watching that video, I had to go onto Llewellyn immediately. I think these were on sale, or they were like, or one of them was on sale. I can't remember. And I'm so happy. These are in order because I haven't decided if I'm gonna do walkthroughs of these either. Again, let me know if you want me to do a walkthrough of either of these. They're beautiful. The Golden Art Nouveau reminds me of like the Tarot Mucha. So I really need to do some reading with it before deciding whether it's for me. The Botticelli is like, oh, chef's kiss. It's so good. It's so good. It's like, the Art Nouveau is like a lot of yellow and orange. I just don't know how I feel about that. The color scheme of the Botticelli is like much more my speed. So we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. But really excited about both of these, to be honest. Okay, this one I'm so excited about because I've been obsessed with it since I first saw it a few months ago on TarotTube. I don't remember who had it, but I was just like, I don't know, it just knocked everything out of the park. Like, it's so good. It's the Goblins and Gardens tarot deck, and it is based off of Dungeons and Dragons art mixed with like this garden collage aesthetic. It's all from like old books. I love the Emperor, and I love this like landscape architecture art. Oh, so good. that Hierophant, that is the sweetest Hierophant I've ever seen in my life. This one's still in order too, but I think that people have done walkthroughs of this as well. It's like weird and like creepy, but like cute and psychedelic. And then what the best part is that the little white book describes what's going on in the images, which is rad. So awesome. I've seen this a lot more since the first time I saw it a few months ago, and it makes me so happy. Like the best 10 of Cups. I love the backs too. And then this has gilding on the sides, and you can't really, I don't think you can tell. It's just like a mirrored gilding, but when I took it out, it had like the faintest amount of like sparkle. Maybe you can see it on the top, I don't know. But it's so cool. And this, so obviously this is an indie deck, but you can get it on their website. If you just Google Goblins and Gardens Tarot. I don't know if they have a ton left, but they were still in stock when I got it. Okay, I also went to Highland Park. And I mentioned this in my last video. I got this at the House of Intuition there, and I've always been interested in it, and I thought I would show it. I mean, it's an at present. These are my new decks, so we're really on theme for this month. It's, you know, rich, black, gold, color. Wintry vibes. Or maybe it wasn't my last video. It was my Tarot to the Extremes round 2 video that I included this in, and I had just gotten it. Because I think I don't know if my last video, yeah, maybe that was my last video, and the video before that was decks I wish existed. And if you haven't watched that video, I highly encourage it because I had a lot of fun. Let me know if you use this deck, and if you do, if there are any specific readings or people that you usually use it for. Makes me want to like watch the Nutcracker or listen to it. Okay, so I have 2 more decks, and they're both Kickstarters, and I've mentioned this deck before. I don't know if I've shown it though. This is the Vibe Check deck. It's just a little baby, and I can't get it out. Okay. I think I'm gonna do a walkthrough of this. So I'm just gonna show you a few cards. But it is an AI deck, and it does not come with a booklet. It's really just based off of intuition. And it's freaking gorgeous. I get so many vibes from this, and I guess that's the point, right? Vibe check deck. Oh, it makes me so happy. Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I've ever like noticed this one. It's so good. So yeah, keep an eye out for a vibe with me. Oh my gosh, they're slippy. They're so slippy. This is a linen cardstock, and it's very slippery, kind of like Pagan Otherworlds. And then the last deck I have, I just picked up, well, it got delivered on Saturday, but I picked it up yesterday from my parents' house, and it's the new classic Tarot by Mr. Freeborg. This isn't his first deck, so I don't know. But look at this box. It's like embossed. So gorgeous. This color scheme is everything. The only disappointment that I have with this deck is that the printing on it is supposed to look like it's linen. It has kind of that little like cross, like linen feel, or I mean look, but it feels completely matte. I don't know. Let's like investigate. Hold on. No, it's actually linen. It's just not, it's not glossy in any way, and it's also very smooth. It doesn't have a ton of texture, but you can see, sorry, I need to get my nails done. They're gross, and I cut them like short so that they would stop like getting in my way. But like, you can see here, like that's actual, what's the word? Oh, Monday brain. Texture. So I might do a walkthrough of this one. I know a lot of people have kind of already done like deck openings, first impressions. I don't know if I want to do that, but this color scheme, oh my God, is everything. I got the classic. There's also kind of an antiqued version. I'm really excited to see that one on TarotTube. So if you got the antiqued version, like, please, please, please do a walkthrough. It's like piratey, which is like really exciting, and kind of like Rococo. Definitely Rococo in the color scheme. It's like pastel goth. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm sure you're going to be seeing a lot of it on YouTube, but I just got this in and I'm very excited, and I have not used it yet. And there you have it. That's my at present. Do we have like a theme here? Let me know what you think. Happy holidays. I hope that you're having a nice time. I hope you're doing festive things. I didn't include festive things that I did this month because I haven't really done any festive things. Womp womp. I'm somewhat in the spirit of the season and somewhat incredibly sad. So I mean, I don't know. It just is what it is. I'm overwhelmed by life and work and, I don't know, everything. So I'm feeling very depleted, but I'm grateful for you, and thank you for being here. Thanks for being curious. Thanks for being my friend. My mom's coming. I gotta go.